About where things are headed. Curtis Sliwa joins us now. Curtis, great to see you again. The most often heard expression I hear around the streets of Manhattan in the past couple of days is he couldn't be worse than de Blasio. What is, because de Blasio just has such a horrible record with crime increasing, businesses going down. What's your take on Eric Adams?
Oh, well, first off, you're right. Comrade Bill de Blasio, the part-time mayor, is giving a big F you to everybody on his way out. He's taken a Miley Cyrus wrecking ball to the city that we love over 8 years. Now, I've known Eric Adams over 40 years. I know what he's capable of, and I know what his rhetoric is. If he can do just a little bit of what he campaigned about, it'd be much better than Bill de Blasio. But, unfortunately, he's inheriting a hot mess. He's not only has to deal with a rampant, out-of-control crime problem, we've got emotionally disturbed persons everywhere, homeless people everywhere, and workers who don't want to come back to work. And I'm telling you this much, you've seen the CEOs demand that they come back to the workplace, and they're saying, I don't care if you cut my pay by a third. I have a better quality of life in suburbia. I'm spending my money in my neighborhoods, in my marketplaces. It's going to be very tough to get them back to work under any circumstances.
Right. Well, we're looking, by the way, as you're talking, at 6th Avenue. This is the week between Christmas and New Year's. Usually that, it's wall-to-wall traffic of people from out of town, et cetera. It's like a ghost town. Of course, Omicron has a huge thing to do with that. But even before Omicron, you had this increase in crime. And crime, I think, more than any other issue, maybe with the exception of the pandemic, has really hurt this city bad. Even if Eric Adams, a former policeman, has the best intentions, follows through on what he's been saying, he's got to deal with a new district attorney. His name is Alvin Bragg. He got $1 million from George Soros. That tells you a lot of where his head is at. He's one of the defund the police kind of guys. How does he deal, Eric Adams, with a DA who's of the George Soros ilk?
Well, he's already been in the sandbox with a new DA, and he said that they agree on a lot of the issues, which is specious, because Alvin Bragg, basically anything you want to do other than murder and rape and stabbing somebody right in their gut, you're going to walk loose. You're going to get what we call in the streets a disappearance ticket, a desk appearance ticket for a court date sometime in the future. And so if Eric Adams does not confront not just this DA, but the DAs in the other boroughs who are just cutting loose these offenders, it doesn't matter, because you can't just keep locking people up and turning them loose. So he's got to take a stand against men and women in his own party. Now, he's talked the talk, but now as mayor, he's going to have an opportunity to begin this confrontation, and I'll support him on that with every fiber of my soul.
I know you will.
Because these DAs are the reason that these criminals are walking the street.
Yeah, and you just look at any of the perps that are mentioned in the press. They have a violent crime history. They were let out much too soon. There was a person on the Upper West Side of Manhattan just a week ago who smashed Too Lazy Crazy guy, but he'd been a violent criminal. He shouldn't be out in the streets. He smashed one woman so bad her jaw was pushed over. She's permanently disfigured. He was let out the same day he was arrested, the same day. And it was 2 women that he attacked. You also have people like the controller of New York, a guy named Brad Lander, who's a big defund the police guy. Well, guess what? Brad Lander has his own personal police detail now protecting him, even though he's for defunding the police for everybody else.
That's right. He's got 12 to 14 cops in different cycles protecting him, a police officer who's his chauffeur, and a taxpayer-funded SUV. And this guy hates cops, wants to eliminate prisons, and he's not alone. There's a guy running for governor, Jumaane Williams. Not only is he like a partner in Brad Lander in this capacity, defund the police, defund prisons, he lives on a military base in Brooklyn, Fort Hamilton, where you have to show ID every time you go in to the military police. They are sanctimonious hypocrites. Look, when I became the Republican nominee, I was afforded a security detail by the NYPD. The day I need a security detail, I need to move to Boca Raton, the 6th borough of the city of New York, or get a job hanging wallpaper. To Eric Adams' credit, he didn't accept a police detail, although now as mayor, he'll probably have to have some police around him.
The one thing I can guarantee 100% of everything you said, Curtis Sliwa does not need a police detail. He knows how to protect himself. Curtis, great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for being here.